Hey, Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to Yakim, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. This is Mathia from the GMS Dallas camp. And wanted to go into a quick lesson, Lord willing, this will be edifying. I wanted to go into how under this lesson, this video here, and go into how kingdoms fall under their wickedness. Okay, the wicked ways that these other nations, as well as Israel, when we start following other idols and going off from the the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and start following the ways of the law, statute, and commandments to the best of our ability, what happens? You have the Lord brings the end of what? Our nation, okay? Bring them to naught. So we don't have no kingdom here, and it will not be unless the Lord comes and provides that divine intervention. And that's going to be through who? The only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. When the Father, who is the Most High, Yahweh is the name in Hebrew, when he gives the go, there's time where Yahweh Shai is going to be sent forth, and he's going to bring forth dominion over the earth. All right, he's going to establish the seat upon the King David throne, and it's going to be a kingdom that's going to reign forever. But like you say, civilization. If you look on the video here, it says Camille Paglia, the proliferation of gender issues is a sign of civilization collapse. All right, so the ways of the Western ways brings forth what? Confusion, gender confusion. That's going to bring forth a downfall. And it's also showing what brings forth the decadence, the downfall of empires. Okay, these are some of the things. I know one of the videos I saw that this Professor Camille Paglia brought out, stating even like when you notice the downfall of throughout history of civilization, especially like in the Roman and Greeks, food shelves and different people became very popular, and we see in these times that we're seeing. All right, so I wanted to quickly get a scripture here, and then we'll jump right into the video. All right, because the thing is, the earth was given to the hands of the wicked, so Esau knows that his ways are the ways of the wicked. The elites know, and they know what they want to do is change the course of prophecy, but that can't be changed. All right. But the Lord said, don't walk in the ways of the heathen, no matter how much dominion they have on the earth. You're supposed to walk in the ways of the Most High. So that brings forth a test. All right. That brings forth a test. This is Deuteronomy 12, verse 30. And it reads, it says, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. Now, who is them? Those are the other nations and their ways. All right, because if you read up in Deuteronomy, it said I'll get the scripture before that. It says verse 29. It says, when Yahweh thy power shall cut off the nations from before thee, whether thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, and dwelleth in their land, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. So when you in the land or amongst the other heathens, do not follow their ways. All right. So we just had what is that? Christmas. You had New Year's and all this. New Year's is what is the god Janus, and then like you say, Christmas. It tells you Jeremiah 10. Don't follow the ways of the spirit of Christmas, because that is basically not the way of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. Christmas, what they say, that's the Xing out the Lord. That is going into paganism. All right. That's going through the time of Nimrod. And they have set it up for to have it here. That's going all the way back to a Babylonian culture. We don't supposed to walk in those ways, as it says here in verse 30. Back in verse 30, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by the following after, that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. So we don't supposed to walk the ways of of the other civilizations. Okay, we won't supposed to walk in the ways of the other nations, because that's going to bring forth what? Death and destruction. That's why Micah 2:10 advises that we're supposed to come out of the ways of the heathens. All right, and that's gonna set for our salvation to basically put away from the worldly things, which is one of the worldly things is what? Idol gods. So we're gonna watch this video here, and Lord willing, this to be edifying.
You did not exist, as you were talking about, in the mid-'60s. So your subject, your cultural identity did not exist. And now you are, there's a million types of people that you could be. You can be a conservative lesbian. You can be, you can be out, polyamorous. You can be bisexual. You can be this. You can be that.
Yes.
There's been, would you agree that there's been just a massive proliferation of legitimate cultural identities that are out there? And is that a good thing or a bad thing? And what's driving that move forward?
Well, at first I was very excited about the ethnic identity movement, because I feel very Italian American, and I've always been in revolt against the WASP style that dominated academia. When I first, Leslie Fiedler himself, was a victim of this. I mean, Harold Bloom was, and there weren't even any Jews hired in the Yale English department until like the mid 1950s, and there were quotas on Jewish students admitted to Harvard. I mean, all things like that. But over time, okay, what's happened? I think, okay, that gender identity has become really almost fascist, okay, and it's to me a very shrunken, miniaturized way of perceiving your position in the world and in the universe. Okay, there was a time when these fine gradations of gender identity. Okay, I'm a male trans doing this with that going move. This is a symptom of decadence. I'm sorry, as sexual personae talks about this. That was in fact the inspiration of sexual personae was that my overview of history and my noticing, okay, that in late phases you all of a sudden get a proliferation of homosexuality, of sadomasochism, okay, of gender games and impersonations and masks and so on. So I believe we're in a late phase. We're in a late phase.
So that the proliferation of cultural identities, the proliferation of all sorts of possibilities, is actually a sign that we're
on the verge of collapse. Yes, Western culture is in decline. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Okay, in my view, okay, looking at the history of Egypt, of Babylon, okay, of Rome, of Byzantium, okay, and so on. And so what's happening is everyone's so.
All right, this is Leviticus 12, verse 3. It says, "After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall ye not do. After the things of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances." So do not walk in the ways of the wickedness of what's going on today. Because like I say, these are the time where the time of Moses, but you can apply this to today, because the Lord said he changed not. All right. And as you hear the Professor Camille stating that, hey, she could see the downfall that's going on here in Babylon the Great. Okay, she could see the Western society that's being brought down low. All right, and like you said, it's just like in the times of Babylon, just like the times of Egypt, all these different things, and it's showing, hey, this is what going on here in the Western world. You have the decadence that's going on. All right, and don't the scriptures deem here in America, here in Babylon the Great, Sodom and Egypt, aka America? So it's not going to get any better. This is only going to get worse. Everything that's happening in America is going to become a third world country, and what's going to happen is that world war, the third woe, that's going to happen. So we got to continue to pull ourselves away from the world, as the world of here, this empire, okay, this kingdom here in Babylon the Great continue to fall. All right. So this is let's keep going here.
busy, okay, with themselves, okay, with the solipsistic, narcissistic, a sense of who they are in terms of sexual orientation or gender, and this intense gender consciousness, women consciousness at the same time. And meanwhile...
Is it also racial consciousness or ethnic consciousness as well?
I think that... I think right now, okay, to me, the real obsessions have to do with gender orientation. There's been this flare-up. I voted for Obama, okay, but I've been bitterly disappointed. I think we had hoped that he would inaugurate a period of racial harmony, and I think it's actually the situation has become even worse, okay, over the past for recent years. With it seems to be overt, inflammatory actions by the administration to pit the races against each other in the U.S. So I think there's a lot of damage that needs to be healed. But I think most of the problems is I perceive them, okay. I mean, as I can see them in my students and so on, is that there is a new obsession, okay, with where you are on this wide gender spectrum, okay, and in a view of gender that seems to me unrealistic because it is so divorced from any kind of biological reference. I mean, I do believe in biology. I do believe in the cult. I say the first paragraph of sexual personality that sexuality.
Yeah, I don't want to get, they'll probably flag this, Lord willing, they won't. But hey, basically, this is how this tied into, like I say, the learn the way not the heathen. You have the moles going around and all this, the alphabet gang. This ain't doing nothing but what? Bringing forth more of the wrath of the Lord that's going to become upon here. So if we don't pull away from this sinking ship, which is the ways of the West, the ways of Babylon, the ways of Egypt, the ways of Sodom and Egypt, you're gonna fall and you're gonna be destroyed through this sinking ship, and it's gonna be sunken with fire and brimstone. So that is what we're saying. This is civilization. Civilization is collapsing. Okay, the ways of the West is gonna collapse. The next kingdom upon the earth will be the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Yasharala, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, the kingdom, you know what I'm saying? So this is what's coming. So if you don't pull away from the ways of the world, you will be destroyed because this empire and this civilization is collapsing through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai because of the wicked ways. All right, because of the alphabet gang, because of the wrongful dealing with the apple of the Lord's eye, which is the nation of Israel. It's called Black, Latinos, and Native American. So with that, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waha, Rakakadash, the water Tawab.